Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of District Heights City Meeting. It is Thursday, July the 3rd, and the city meeting is about to start. It is 7:01 p.m. We are now at the Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Mayor Gomez.
Everyone, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, Vice Mayor Gomez. And we will now have the opening prayer from Commissioner Tillman.
All right, everybody, bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for bringing us in the city today to help us along with this journey of strength and resilience for the great city of District Heights. And I hope everybody who's not feeling well is doing well, because as we know, there are a lot of people going through great things right now, and they need prayer too. So I pray for all of those who are going through difficult times, because times will get better. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, and God bless you. And thank you, Commissioner Tillman, for that prayer. We will now move to the approval of the agenda. Have you had a chance to review the agenda? And if you are ready, I will take a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
All right. I, Commissioner Tillman, move that the city approve the agenda for July 3rd, 2025.
Could I get a second?
Vice Mayor Gomez seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you for that. Now we are entering our public hearing. This public comment, this section is for individuals signed up to speak on topics unrelated to the public hearing. Anyone wishing to comment on the public hearing topic should wait until the commission formally opens the floor for the public comment during the portion of the meeting. Are there any members who signed up to speak at tonight's city meeting? So first I have Mr. Ron Waters. He's not speaking on the charter, it's just a public,
No, Mr. Waters is speaking on both.
on both. Okay, so we're gonna have the non-public hearing from you.
Evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission,
Good evening.
City Manager, City Clerk, residents, as spoken. My name is Ronald Waters. I got 100 questions, but I narrowed it down to 3 for time. First question is, summer youth employment. What is the procedure for posting these positions, and how are these positions selected? When I say selected, Public Works, Recreation, Administration, how is that determined?
For some employment,
For the summer youth employment?
summer youth employment, because each department have their own summer youth employment. So David, do we,
Typically, they do, although the FY '26 budget, as we'll discuss more, is constrained. And so the only one that was funded for this go-around was in Public Works. And so the recruitment and selection, I'd have to provide additional information on, or Mr. Lawson can address in his HR update.
Well, I guess, where was this posted at? Who knew that those positions were available? And the timeline to apply, all of those things. That's the meat and potatoes. My second question, what's the city's protocol on responding to emails, phone calls from residents? In my past work career, which was prior to emails and all that, it was 24 hours to return a phone call, no more than 48. Myself and some other residents are concerned because sometimes we don't get a response, period.
So you calling the main line? Is that what you're doing?
Call
Or you
mainline,
calling directly?
email an individual, however it's being done. Personally, I feel just a simple received would let you know that the system was working. I know at one time the system was faulty, but who knew that? It wasn't posted anywhere, nobody knew, so emails went out the window.
David?
And so typically, the best way to get in contact with us is to call the main number, although if you've got specific instances, I would ask you let me know.
And that's a recording though. I just had a resident call me with a complaint, concern, because they called that number
Yeah.
and they still have not received a response. Yay, nay, we'll call
They
you
left
back.
a message.
They left
and
a
they
message.
left a message.
They left a message.
Okay. Can you provide the information to me?
I can,
Okay,
yeah, I
thank
can
you.
do that. On that same topic, there was an event concerning the Marlboro Pike Corridor project. I believe the date was the 23rd of last month. Why wasn't the city aware of it? It wasn't posted within the city. We are part of Marlboro Pike. So those who attended that meeting, they might want more smoke shops. We don't. Why weren't we included in that?
I'm not understanding which meeting.
On the 23rd, Bishop McNamara, I think it was the county, who hosted a meeting.
Which is District 6. District 6.
Okay,
Mayor,
Oh,
may I?
sure.
Mr. Waters. So that was a Marlboro Pike resident input meeting on amenities that they would like to see on Marlboro Pike. We are in close collaboration with the Marlboro Pike Partnership. We actually just had an event with them, I want to say the 21st, where we did a streetscaping on District Heights Parkway. And that specific events they had was for resident feedback. So we are in close collaboration with Marlboro Pike. We're actually working behind closed doors on some partnership opportunities for development. That specific meeting was for resident input. So we are in constant communication with Marlboro Pike Coalition. We also share flyers from any of our community partners if and when they send them to us. We don't always get the information in time to post, but we do our part to share out the information that we do get on time. But specifically for that event, because it was a event that the Marlboro Pike Coalition is doing, specifically wanting to engage residents, and we are already in close collaboration with them for specific partnerships and projects that we have completed and will continue to do. That is why that we weren't physically present there, because we're continuing to meet with them, right? And the purpose of that was really for them to collect feedback directly from residents.
okay. I've heard you say two things that stick out. You said we are in collaboration, and we had a meeting on the 21st to express what the residents want. Residents of the Incorporated City, were they involved?
I'm not sure because we did not attend the meeting, but we have been able to the Marlboro Pike Coalition has their own programming. When they send us flyers for programming and events that we have, we share them out when we can, right?
Is this the same organization that held a couple meetings probably 2 years ago up at the District Heights Elementary School? The sheriff was there,
No, I don't think so.
the
Oh,
the
no,
leaders
that
of the
was
church.
the Greater District Heights Coalition, where we were at District Heights Elementary School.
Right.
No, that was the coalition
it's a
group.
different organization.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, the event we did an event with them on the 21st of June in the city, where we did a artscape project on the crosswalk between District Heights Elementary and the neighborhood. So in District Heights Parkway, if you ride down that crosswalk, you'll see that there's art on that crosswalk.
Okay.
So that's one specific project that we've worked diligently with the Marlboro Pike Coalition with the intention of being able to do something like that on Marlboro Pike. So that's an example in which we are working with them. We know what they're doing, right? And again, it's a collaboration where they have something going on, they share it with us. For that specific project, they asked us to post it out so they can get volunteers to come from the city, right? So it's not to say that we're not at the table with them, right? We also have to respect that these are our community partners who are also has their own visions and goals for what their organization is doing, which we support when and where we can. But I want to just clarify to you that we are working closely with the Marlboro Pike Coalition on the vision that we want to see for the entire Pike. And when they have events, we do our best to share that information out as much as possible, but that is also dependent on them sharing the information to us so that we're able to share that out to residents, right?
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that event on District Heights Parkway. I saw the notification the Monday after on Nextdoor, asking for volunteers. I saw Public Works that Saturday morning block the street off. No idea what's going on. Residents of the city should be involved in these things. When you ask for volunteers, you might get 5. Who knows, you might get 50. But it doesn't look good for events, things like that happening, and you're asking for volunteers, there's no one there. I just recently saw the picture of who was there. Public Works, Commissioner Harcourt. I couldn't tell you who else was there. I don't know. Probably 10 people.
Okay.
We gotta do better.
So I just want to clarify again, if our community partners are having an event, we do our best to share that information out within our social media. We advertise what we have going on in the Herald if and when we get things in time. Because this is a partnership, we're not the only responsible organization involved. So we do what we can to share out and advertise the events that our partners are doing, especially when we are involved, right? However, if we're not the only folks involved or the leaders of a partnership, we don't necessarily always can control the communication or even the advertisement of events, right? We do our best. We have full control over the things that we ourselves are putting out, and we do our best to support our community partners in any way that we can, right? So this was an event that the Marlboro Pike Coalition organized. We partnered with them. As we got information, as soon as we get the information, we share that out with everyone that we can. I know that ongoing volunteering has been something that we've talked about, not just with Marlboro Pike, but across all of our committees, across a lot of things that we do, right? So this is a larger challenge that is not just distinctly with the City of District Heights. We also realize that our partners, our community partners, also find it challenging to have residents or volunteers come out for these events. We do the best we can with the time that we're giving to share these things out. We will continue to do that, and we've also discussed better ways for us to do that, right?
Well, I think, excuse me for interrupting you, but the one tool that I think the city can use better is constant contact. I mean, if a storm blows in, somebody sends a message out, we get it. you didn't know the storm was coming yesterday or 3 days ago, but if you get the information the morning of, constant contact. I know for myself, I look at the city website, there was nothing there. When I came back home, I'm looking, what's going on over there on District Heights Parkway? But we can do better. Thank you.
Thank you. So David, do you want to add on that event? Because it was
The painting
rescheduled,
one?
right?
Yeah.
The painting
So,
event.
so the vice mayors summarized it well. That was a Marlboro Pike Partnership-led event, which of course we participated in because they were doing some work in our right-of-way. For the community's benefit, there's a little bit more going on there. We are trying to advocate for art in the public right-of-way on Marlboro Pike, which we don't have maintenance control over. So we have some other folks higher up that we gotta convince that's a good idea. So what we did was organized a quick pilot. We used a video-based AI company, which is incidentally the same one we're beginning to roll out for stop sign enforcement, to do a pre and post-evaluation of a temporary art installation on a crosswalk to District Heights Elementary. And so the call for volunteers, bless you, bless you again. The call for volunteers did go out. We did get rained out the first time, so we had to resend it. When I say we, Marlboro Pike Partnership had to resend it, and we did our best, as you say, to re-amplify. And we ended up with a, 10-ish person paint over 2-3 hours on District Heights Parkway on June 21. Unfortunately, that has since washed away. However, we did get an update from the AI company a little earlier in the week that their data engineers are going through the pre and post data. So we're hoping to have a presentation to the commission soon regarding the outcome of that pilot. After which we anticipate community involvement in designing future art in the right-of-way. But the vice mayor said accurately that neither one of those, either the 21st or the 23rd, were city-led. I would say that the painting on the 21st, we participated in, obviously, because we have a vested interest in getting art, and then the 23rd was wholly their event. And we may have sent some representation, although I have to go back and check and see who attended. And our SOP for that is to pick those up and push them out as quickly as we can when we get notified of partnered or items of community interest, right? We don't always control when those things come out, although we can certainly push them out across more channels. Typically, we try not to exert a huge amount of resources on stuff that's not ours or lands outside the city or just adjacent to the city. Although the recommendation regarding constant contact use and upping our push on that, we can absolutely do.
Just a point on that as well. I know we've had previous conversations about the frequency of constant contact, because I've spoken to Kelly, and the concern is the overkill, right? So imagine every single time we have a community flyer, you get an email, right? There could be multiple emails within one day, but maybe we can consider consolidating and doing like a weekly digest.
We've had that exact conversation internally. Our concern, and particularly the concern of our program-based departments, is getting their stuff lost in the sauce, if you would. And so the senior center is somewhat hesitant to use that platform with everything else because they have a membership that they're targeting, and just like you say, if every email is coming through as important, then people are typically going to treat them as though none are important.
Yeah.
So the discussion that we've started internally is reserving days for specific notifications. And so we have had discussions about, maybe day X is a recreation roundup, maybe day Y is a senior center roundup, and maybe day Z is a citywide weekly recap. And so we've started in the early phases of getting that push more organized and filtering it all through either our Constant Contact or another similar centralized email distribution list that we can then report back to the commission for metrics on. Hope that answers your question.
So maybe with that sample platform that we're looking at, that we put that in the Herald so people will know when to look for certain things.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So the rest are, the other two are charter resolutions? Okay. So item number 1 is the public hearing, charter resolution number 25-13. And we have Bradley for our city attorney here. The summary is charter resolution number 25-13 amends Article 3, Section 313 of the city charter to require that all enacted ordinances be maintained on file in the city clerk's office and made available for public inspection during regular business hours. The resolution is scheduled for adoption on July 3rd, 2025, and will take effect on August 22nd, 2025, unless a valid petition for this referendum is filed by August 12th, 2025. So, Mr. Farrar, could you just come up and give us another complete summary of this?
Good evening to the commission and the citizens of the beautiful city of District Heights. Madam Mayor, I think it would be superfluous for me to add anything else other than what you said.
Okay.
The charter resolution does just that. Again,
Okay.
it says enacted ordinance shall be kept on file in the city clerk's office and shall be available for public inspection. And so that's the gist of the charter resolution amendment.
Okay, so for this pre-hearing, could I get a motion to open the public hearing on this charter resolution 20-13?
Vice Mayor Gomez moved the city commission to open the public hearing on the charter resolution number 2513.
Could I get a second?
Commissioner Tillman, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries 3-0. So we have 2 members of the public that wish to speak on this charter resolution. So I have Harriet Irving. Good evening.
I really hadn't signed up to speak on the charter.
It has charter resolution, your topic.
No, that wasn't my topic.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
I think, yeah, I was doing public participation. I think because Ron, are you speaking on the charter resolution?
yeah, he's, so,
Okay,
so
so-
we can switch and, because
Right,
we have
so-
to come out of the hearing.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and
then
I'll
we'll
come
have to
back,
come
because I knew
yeah.
Ron was gonna
Sure,
speak, so
sure.
both of us didn't need to. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ron Waters.
Again, evening, Mayor,
Good
Vice Mayor,
evening.
Commissioner,
Good evening.
City Manager, City Clerk, and residents. My name is Ronald Waters. I am the Chair of the Charter Committee. My question is, Section 313 of Article 3, why was this section not reviewed by the Charter Committee? Why aren't the other sections of Article 3 included in this hearing or any other hearing?
That's just your question?
Mhm.
Okay. So,
We never saw 313.
you never saw 313? So, Mr. Farrar? I'm thinking everything. I don't know. We'll see.
So, to answer the question, that section, actually, they did review. This is the language that they, the charter committee had proffered and put forward just for, that they had done it. I think that they may not recall doing it, but this is their exact same language that they reviewed and put forward.
We have to have some discussion on it.
Excuse me, I have just one question.
Sure.
Maybe both of you all, because in my packet, I don't have what section 313 is. Can you clarify?
It is, you want the language that it says specifically?
Or the name of the section?
It's file of enacted ordinances.
Okay.
Right here, the summary that I read.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suspect what might be throwing folks off is the charter as it sits right now, unamended as the committee has done its work, this is numbered as 312.
It's 312.
Oh.
And so I
Unamended.
suspect some renumbering has occurred based off of some changes that have been pushed through.
So you're saying it should be 312 or originally
It's
it was?
current 312, new 313.
Oh, okay, okay. So do you remember that part on the clerk's filing?
So what's the status of, I know 301, I'm sorry. It's 303, I believe it is on hold. What's the status of the rest of the Article 3? 304, 305, and on up. There was a meeting and it was approved, but there was never a hearing to enact it.
Okay, Mr. Farrar will be able to answer that.
So there was a meeting, those charter amendments that were put forward by the charter committee and were approved by the commission were advanced. And so this is the first one that is advanced for public hearing. So those will be forthcoming. The city clerk and I are working through the schedule, but those will be forthcoming for public hearing. So this is the first publicly noticed and public hearing of the charter amendment. So,
Sure.
Just so if I'm understanding correctly, we will take each section and do
a public
a
hearing.
public hearing for each section.
For each amendment,
So-
pursuant to the state statute, we have to have a hearing for each one of those, yes.
Okay, so due to the state law, we will have to have a hearing for each and every section under Article 3.
For each amendment, yes.
For each amended section under
Yes,
Article 3.
yes, right.
So the language has not changed from what the charter committee put forth and what we've voted on.
That-
Now, we're just going through the hearing process.
Now we're going through the hearing
Okay.
process, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Are you okay with that, Mr. Waters?
Any other
You
questions?
Any questions regarding that?
I have a few
Of
questions,
having-
but I'll come back.
Well, this is the public hearing, so you need to talk about it
Well,
now.
this is 313. I don't have
Oh,
a
so
problem
you
with
want to do for the next ones?
I don't have
you
a
wanna-
problem with the actual
Okay.
wording of the text.
Okay,
I have a problem with the procedure of, and I don't recall us sending a final draft on it. I may be wrong. I did reach out to the clerk to give me records of past meetings of what we discussed. I have yet to receive that, so. fact
so
finding.
Kenneth, you received that request? Okay. Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Waters. A lot of moving parts, let's see. So we don't have any other participation regarding the hearing. So,
Former Vice Mayor Irving,
no, she doesn't have a question regarding.
on the hearing?
You just said you,
I didn't, but as a result of the conversation right here, I had a question as a result of what we are proposing.
so you're gonna stick with this form here and do a public hearing around the charter resolution? Okay, come up.
Okay. It's really more of a suggestion or discussion about how the notification went out, that there was going to be this hearing. I went through Prince George's Post, Prince George's County Post. I went through, I think it was 13 pages. And the corner of the 13th or 14th page, so you had like 6 things on that page, and the left-hand corner was the announcement for District Heights. So is there a better way that we can get that out, that it's more prevalent and people can see it and know that we're having it? Just well, it's got to be more than a suggestion, because we really didn't know. And I think a lot of people in here didn't even know that it was in there. And I sent it out to some people and told them, hey, look, I just got this, you need to look at it. Well, where is it? Keep going down the page, and on the 14th page, I think it was, over in the left-hand corner, there it said something about, I think, the Incorporated City of District Heights or something like that. I can show it to you, it's on my phone. But I just want to suggest, please, to put it out in a way that we can see it and know where to find it. And that way we'll know about the meeting and everything will be, copacetic. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there a different way that we post? Because I know this is the way we've been doing it for
Yeah,
years,
so,
so.
so to answer the first part of the question, yes, we can absolutely change the location of the posting, provided that the place of posting has circulation within District Heights. The difficulty is that I would say that the city would need to change its paper of record, which is the place where it does all of its postings, right? And so
For
we would
public
move
hearings.
from PG Post to Washington Post, or PG Post to some other publication, and then Mr. Farrar can.
So,
Ferrari.
so the state law actually requires that it be posted, published in a newspaper of record that is circulated within the city of District Heights. So you have very few newspapers that do that. So and it has to be done for 4 weeks in advance of the hearing. Certainly the city doesn't control the location where it's done in the legal notices for the Prince George's Post. But again, the city has a requirement in order for it to be enacted, that it be published and that there is notice. I would suggest that, that the city continue to put it in a newspaper of record, but we could also publish it on the website in a prominent place. And when that goes out about the hearings, it can be done on the website. But the city absolutely has to conform with state law, publish it in the newspaper of record.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
You have a question?
No.
Oh, did you have a question? Okay. So now we're at the closing of the hearing. Could I get a motion to close the public hearing on Charter Resolution 25-13?
Yes, I'll take it. I, Commissioner Tillman, move that the City Commission close the public hearing on Charter Resolution 25-13.
Could I get a second?
Vice Mayor Gomez seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. So now we're at the adoption of the resolution. Could I get a motion to adopt the Charter Resolution 25-13, Article 3, Section 313 of the City Charter?
Vice Mayor Gomez moved that the City Commission adopt Charter Resolution Number 2513, Article 3, Section 313 of the City Charter.
Could I get a second?
Commissioner Tillman, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you for that. So now we are in the information items and department reports. So item number 2, July 4th briefing. Oh, that's Darren.
We
Okay.
had initially teed up Mr. Swain, although Recreation is able to provide a briefing. If you'd like to take that now, we can. If you'd like to take that as part of the departmental report, we can do that as well.
Yeah, he can come up because he's next. Oh, Jeffrey Taylor. So we need the briefing on July 4th first before you go into your department
Yes, ma'am.
report. Okay.
Okay, for the briefing, this briefing would be for the July 4th event tomorrow. Overall, the residents and guests, the main part of the event would be from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Today, our fireworks vendor arrived today at 10 a.m. to start setting up the racks for the ammunition. Recreation and a representative for Public Works went out to greet and meet with them briefly and exchange phone numbers and other pertinent information for tomorrow's event. At 4 a.m., July 4th, fireworks will arrive on site and the actual ammunition and shells will be dropped off. Our fireworks vendor will have security on site that will stay the entire duration. At 5 p.m., Recreation will arrive. At that time, we will meet with our fireworks vendor to discuss the event again. And then, of course, at 6 p.m., well, at least between 6 and 7 p.m., we will also meet with the representative from the fire marshal's office, as well as the lead point of contact for our fireworks vendor to further discuss the details of the event. 7 p.m., the gates will be open for people to arrive. Of course, bring your blankets, your refreshments, something to stay cool, as well as any lawn chairs that you may have. We'll be there to assist you with crowd flow. Of course, before 7 p.m., our barriers will be put into place by our police department and Public Works department. At 9 p.m., we're going to do a test shoot like we always do. That's, if you've been here previously, a lot of people think that's when the fireworks will get started, but at 9 p.m., we always do a test firing to make sure the fire marshal and our fireworks vendor are all on the same page. The fireworks will start between 9:15 and 9:30, so that everyone knows. What we tend to look out for is total darkness in the sky. Around this time of year, that's like the sweet spot, 9:15 to 9:30. At 9:55, the fireworks display this year, like last year, will be between 25 and 30 minutes. That puts us, or places us somewhere between 9:50 and 10 o'clock. And at that time, our fireworks vendor, representatives from our Public Works Department and the Recreation Department will inspect the tubes and clean up any live product that will be on the field. Our staff and the Public Works staff, we just provide the lighting on the field as well as any extinguishing products that may be needed, whether it's the fire extinguisher or any water after the fireworks displays have completed. And on Monday, July 5th, our fireworks vendor will come out at 9 a.m. And that's to, of course, inspect any unfired shells to make sure that our site is placed back to the way it was before the event. And of course, that concludes the briefing. I kind of wanted to be brief and set aside time for questions.
So, thank you for that. So for the residents, are we going to have some handicap parking available, or
Yes.
what should they look forward to when they arrive?
When residents and guests arrive, there'll be parking available on the lower lot. We also met with and partnered with First Baptist of District Heights, and overflow parking will be available on their parking lot. Also, during the event, we will provide, well, not provide, but there will be an ice cream vendor available. Of course, restrooms will be available inside of the recreation department as needed.
So my question again is, if our seniors want to partake in the fireworks viewing, they would have to park at the lower parking lot? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's just the available parking spaces, but I believe our PD will have access points on the upper lot for drop-off.
Oh, just for drop-off?
Yeah, just for
Okay.
drop-off, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, any questions from the commission regarding the 4th of July event?
Yes.
Looking forward to it.
She's
Looking
looking
forward
for
to
it.
Oh. And again, actually, great point, Mayor. If you or someone in your family has any challenges walking, please share with them that they will be able to ride up to the upper lot and have that person dropped off safely. Yes, and thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Tillman?
Yes. So, will you have water out there?
Yes, we will have some cool water provided. We have it in the refrigerator right now.
And is the ice cream free or no?
Yes and no. We usually provide like a first come, first serve, probably like the first 50 people.
Oh,
But then after that,
And that's just the cone or a cup?
that's
Is
the
it the small
cone.
cup? It's
Yeah,
just the cone?
That's the cone. I think our vendor has been working with us so long, I think he actually is okay with options.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a soft serve, very good ice cream, actually. And it'll either be in a cone or a cup.
The first 50?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. You can go
Any
right in.
other questions?
I think you're good. You can go right into your report.
Okay, and, okay, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, City Clerk, City Manager, and residents, please accept the city report from Recreation for July 3rd, 2025. I'm going to start with the narrative. I'll just read briefly. The Recreation Department started the month of June by collaborating with city leadership, city departments, volunteers, local vendors, and sponsors to host another successful District Heights Day. After District Heights Day, the Recreation Department assisted District Heights Elementary School's teachers and students with their graduation ceremonies. Also, the Washington Commanders Marching Band held band practices. Recreation staff helped with Juneteenth. Summer camp kicked off on Monday, June 23rd, with 35 children, and the department ended the month with a couple great meetings focused on youth and families. What you guys are starting to see is a city report from the Recreation, Parks, and Culture Department that we hope will not only provide you guys with a concise explanation or summary of what we do during the month, but moving forward, we hope that the way we will start to track and capture the data will help our city with everything from potential grant funding to sharing with our partners and future partners how things kind of work on the inside. So what I'll do for the report today, what you see overall is our membership class program check-in data. And what you see on the left side is the, go down, for me, Ken, or go up. Keep going, yes. So in this section here, everyone, what we have are, on the left side, are our current programs and services, along with when you get to the bottom, you start to see some of our partners and some of the facility rentals that occur. I'm gonna start in the middle here. And so just with the month of June, what we're doing is we're tracking the previous month, the current month, and then we're doing a total in the third column here. So I'm just gonna go over the month of June since it's July, and of course, this is May here. During the month of June, our chair aerobics had 58 check-ins, line dance had 40, the go-go fitness class had 9, fitness room adult had 46, fitness room senior had 64, adult open gym memberships, this is our 18 and up category, and they had, what I want to break down, we had a 144 that registered during the month of June. And 99 out of that 144 checked in during the month of June. So they came and got a membership, and then they came back to, of course, receive services. Youth open gym, underneath adult open gym, that's our membership space for 17 and under. And we had, during the month of June, 75 registered, and of course, 41 came through and checked in. Our senior membership, we had 127 that checked in, and then underneath that, we're gonna start tracking facility tours starting this month. I think that'd be a great number to start tracking. But these spaces can be rearranged and changed to the pleasure of the commission. The Washington Commanders stopped by twice on June the 7th, and of course that was District Heights Day, and June 11th for marching practice, and they had a total of 115. DH Elementary, of course, as I shared in the narrative, they used the facility on June 9th, 10th, the 11th, and June 12th. And there were about 150 people that came in each day for graduation ceremonies. And of course, that ended up being about 600 check-ins. And then on the June 28th, we had a facility rental that had about 300 check-ins. So the spaces in blue, we had with our Rec Desk membership, that's the software that we use to track the check-ins. We had 703. And then when you add up the Commanders, District Heights Elementary, and the facility rentals, that adds up to 1,015 with a total of 1,718 check-ins. So that space there will be for check-ins, and Vice Mayor, what I'm trying to do now, something you brought up, is facility peak times. So you're gonna see this space here start to grow. Right now, what you see in yellow is our summer camp. That's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that's Monday through Friday. What we currently have, when I did the narrative, we had 35 kids, but we had one more resident to join that we took in, so we're at 36 now for summer camp. And you see on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the number jumps up to 56. Well, we have to add our chair aerobics class, which during the summer is from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And they usually have about 8 to 10 people right now. And then you will see in blue, we have met with some great community partners, and we're going to start our Safe Summer program during the month of July. And that's where you see the summer activities with community partners, TBD, but that will, of course, run from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Saturdays, we're working out that time and space with our community partners. So I'll be reporting that out during the month of July. And then, of course, you all receive the report in August. This category here is our upcoming projects and opportunities. Our scoreboard replacement, thanks to a project charge grant from Maryland National Capital Park and Planning. We are looking to replace our scoreboards inside of the gymnasium. That's a project that hasn't occurred in 20-plus years. So we're looking to upgrade in that area there. Our adaptive recreation, that'll be a partnership that we will be doing with our YSD. The robotics pilot, not only is it ordered, but they have a ride now. So eventually you're gonna start seeing information on the classes for that program there. And then the field upgrades, we'll be working with our Public Works Department to clean out the grass and prepare the baseball diamond, because we have an event, a couple of events actually during the month of July with Maryland Capital Park and Planning for a free baseball clinic. This is our way of not only partnering with Maryland National Park and Planning, but also providing a service that we normally don't offer our youth. So we're measuring not only the interest in softball and baseball for our youth, but also this will be the first of what we hope to be many opportunities to connect with such a large partner like the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Going down, and last but not least, our upcoming city events and partnerships and facility rentals. So I wanted to reserve that space to kind of update everyone. Of course, again, don't forget tomorrow, 4th of July celebration, July 4th, 2025, and that's from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. On July 19th, there's going to be a very nice health fair out on the field and the parking lot space. I'm not sure if someone else will report out on that, but that will be on the field, and that's from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. There'll be a lot of local and national vendors that will, of course, provide various services for health and wellness. There's a private rental on August the 9th. We're just waiting on a couple of particulars to clear, and that way we will have the time for that event. But that also will be out on the field. And last but not least, our annual back-to-school party is August the 10th, 2025, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And of course, more information will be sent out before that event arrives. And that concludes my report. Thank you guys for your time.
Any questions from the commission?
I just have a comment.
Yes, sir.
Bravo. I mean, you know, the new format
Yeah,
is amazing.
yes.
You know, I know you was long-winded, but it was real worth it. It was well worth it. It was a really good, you know, good proposal, and, you know, we appreciate you taking the time out to do this. You know, it's truly, you know, appreciated. Don't think that it's not, you know. I know it's hard to, you know, come up here and tell us about a lot of this data, but that's what we wanted. We wanted data, and you gave us data.
Yes, sir.
So, and just to let you know, I want to make sure that the residents know about the baseball. So, Youth Baseball Skills Clinic, July 7th, right here in District Heights. So, if you go to PG Parks to Rec and search Baseball Clinic, you should be able to see the dates and the schedule.
Yes.
And Park and Planning did put a flyer out, and I'm sure we're going to share it on ours as well to make
Yes.
sure that everybody's, you know, in the same communication, you know, so that we're receiving the same communications. I want to make sure that every resident gets all the communication that we're sending out. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. But great job. Bravo.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a comment?
Yes, I do. Thank you. So it looks like between our seniors and our adults, the fitness room is getting a lot of action, which I like to
Yes.
see. We're very fit in this community, apparently. I love that. And thank you so much for adding the facility peak times. This is helpful. I wanted to just ask, for the facility peak times, does this include the fitness room attendance as well? Or is this just the summer camp plus the,
Yes,
programming.
it includes currently the summer camp, but you know what? I like that, and I will add the fitness center as well. So this number does not currently contain the fitness room, but we will start tracking that as well
Yeah,
for the
that-
facility
yeah.
peak times.
That would be helpful because, you know, I think maybe we even track the summer camp attendance separate from the fitness room, because I would like to get an idea of when are folks most attending
Yes.
the fitness rooms.
Yes.
Because then we could probably get creative with opening times to cater for when people are already most likely going to be in there.
Yes,
So that would be
indeed.
helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
Quick question. A quick question so when people actually scan, when they go to the fitness room, it's already scanned anyway, right? Aren't the scans tracked when the people scan and go into the
Yes,
fitness room?
the scan does track the fitness room. We will, all great suggestions, that's what I love about these meetings. So what we're going to do is incorporate that data as well for August, for the meeting in August.
Okay.
So for the residents, the funding source for Maryland Park and Planning, when you say project charge, what does that mean? Yeah, both of you?
The city was awarded a project charge as a part of the county's budget process. And so for the just closed fiscal year, right? And so essentially, all of the municipalities in District 7 were awarded a certain amount, which we then scoped out and made proposals for. And, it's essentially a reimbursable grant for FY '25 expenditures in the area of recreation and youth. And so some of the things that were scoped are some of the things like Mr. Taylor mentioned. There's a couple of items that we scoped in the YSB. There's
Well, she can do it, doing her.
Ms. Emerson will speak to it, but there's a biofeedback training that both therapists and recreation staff are going to, or have participated in, to offer additional services to both clients and patrons.
Okay.
And
So
that's,
we've been working our way through that process for the last couple months,
Yeah.
and,
thank you
it's
to our
new
council
for
member.
us.
Thanks to
So-
our council member, Crystal Oriata. 'Cause
Right, so
yeah.
that's how it got inserted into the county
Yeah.
budget. And we've been, so this is the first time that we've been awarded one in a considerable amount of time, if not the first. We could
We
go back
are.
and
We are the
find
first.
one previously. And so, we've been slowly working through that process too. So we're actually just ready to start submitting reimbursements.
So we have to spend the money up front and then get reimbursed? Is that what we're
Correct,
doing?
although, by and large, we're looking at funds we've already spent. Yeah,
Awesome.
yes.
Okay. The Infinite Legacy Health Fair, do you have more information? Do they have a flyer? Because that goes back to what Mr. Waters is saying. We
Yes.
know
Yeah.
this is coming up. We know
Yes.
it's on the books, but
Yes.
it's not out there.
Yes, and it is their flyer, I believe the details are being finalized, it should be out after the 4th holiday, I believe, and Ms. Turner can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we earlier this week put out a not branded, but save the date as as like an upcoming event alert. We do a lot of events for and with community partners where we don't always have control over
Right.
the media. And so what we decided internally, after hearing some feedback similar to what Mr. Waters shared, was that we're just gonna start putting out standardized save the dates.
Yeah.
And so if we get to a point in one of those partnered events where we're 3 weeks out, and we still are waiting on them for, publication and marketing materials, we're just gonna put our own out and replace it with, the official version when it's available. 'Cause we're trying to get that information out in a window that makes sense for folks, without double or triple doing the work of flyer design and promotions.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
Yes, just pretty quick. Do we still put flyers on the table out there? So the flyers will also be available on the table for pickup?
Yes, they're available in the, they're available in the municipal center lobby, the recreation lobby, and the senior center lobby.
Okay, guys.
And I believe they also end up in the YSB lobby. So anywhere you come and access services, you'll see a selection of our flyers.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's
Yeah.
it. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
thank you.
Taylor.
Thank you.
So next is senior services. Tamiko Thomas.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner Gomez, Ms. Tillman, distinguished guests and residents. I think what I'd like to do is just to piggyback on some things I wasn't able to put in the report by giving you some averages and numbers from our programming. For April, May, and June, we had a total of 1,820 check-ins for service. That does not include anything other than rec desks. When you average those numbers along with Care Access and some other programs, the number's actually much higher. Now, just with rec desks, that means our participants who come in, we average 596 check-ins per month, which is not bad, but with Care Access, we average 671 check-ins per month, which is significantly more than how we started in the first 2 months of October and November, when we first had full service offerings. So we're trending in the right direction. We always hope to get more, and we're gonna do that by adding programs, which will be here in July and August, and also promoting the programs that already exist. One of the things that I'm very proud of with the creativity of the communications department and one of our vendors is being able to offer classes virtually. So we have a virtual instructor now, which happened because of a lot of different circumstances. Tanisha helped us set that up. But starting next month, we'll be able to actually offer that class in the home and still control the population and add to that by having our dues and fees separated by residents and non-residents. So we won't lose control of the program, but it'll offer more flexibility for the participants. The next thing I'd like to do is just to highlight some hard dates from some program that we've been talking about for months. For example, the computer class from Ms. Dina, because we didn't have an instructor initially, that class will start on July 15th. Also, Galilee Health is ready to start on July 8th with their veteran service offerings as soon as we work out a few things and they send the final MOU for your approval. One of the other things that's very exciting for us is the SAGE programming. While the classes were small, we got approved for 3 more classes. So instead of offering 2 classes in the fall, they will start on October 6th. We'll have 3 and maybe 4. The classes will be ceramics, living your legacy, soulful stretch, and then we're asking for Spanish because that directly came from the senior needs assessment. The congregate meal program is well and running. Our start date for training for our entire staff will be August 5th. And also, we have an offering that was inspired and actually created by YSB. It's called the Seasoned Readers Club, and that will start the 2nd Thursday in August. All those things were set up and established today. So we'll have, in addition to all the things you see on the activity flow, we'll have all of these. Now, some of the things that were exciting for us this month, we had a couple of craft classes that include picture letters, crochet creations, and also a wooden round door hanger. All these things you can see on our picture board. So it's another thing that we have consistently done for the last month through Ms. Nikita Queen. And moving along, we continued our pop-up travel series, which is just a small group of people that we take all different places throughout the county. We enjoyed the soul concert at the Public Playhouse. We also went to the American Legion for hand dancing, and we had another trip to Miller Farm. We started out with cherry picking. The cherry picking season ended. We still took the folks out, and they enjoyed the farm and some of the other offerings. We had a presentation in a health and wellness series from the Good Feet store, highlighting Good Feet Health, and that was well attended, as well as a financial health or financial wellness, a presentation by PNC Bank. Our food program continues to max out every day. Found some ways, if we do have extra meals, to distribute those to additional seniors, so that is going well. We participate in terms of we're partnering with the rest of our departments in hosting a segment of District Ice Day. So that turned out well for the amount of numbers, which were large for us. And we, again, are continuing to develop our office in terms of our documents. So our policy and procedure manual continues to grow. We've set up SOP for Rec Desk. So if anybody comes, including volunteers, we could train them directly with the help of those documents. And we're working on some cool planning to finalize that document and submit it for review. That is the end of my report, and I'm open for questions.
Any questions from the commission?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for your report. I just had a question on, so we have so many events and activities and programs, and it's so popular. I can't believe we've only been open for
6-7 months?
6-7 months.
Since
and
October.
We're cycling through our first round of programming, and it's so popular, right? It's just, it's crazy. So, and you know, one thing we've talked about is we will have to do a process of prioritizing, whittling down, seeing what everybody likes. And so to that, you have, you added the approximate number of participants for each of these events and activities. Are these numbers, did we cap them, or do we just open it and see how many folks sign up? And then sort of, what's that process like?
So they're capped based on where they're offered at. So for example, we have a yoga class. If it's virtual, we can only have 17 people. Like, that's all we can offer because of the space. So it's capped in that way, and it's also capped in Rec Desk. So when we sign people up, we can figure out how many people can and put it in the system.
Okay, so we figure out how many folks we can accommodate, and then that's how we know to cut off. And so is there, so for instance, like, we had 30 folks for the health seminar and 10 folks for the financial planning, right? Is that the financial planning is just less popular and so less folks came, or was it just at capacity?
I think it was less popular because less folks came because they both were offered in the grade area. Some of them were offered in the cafeteria. The cafeteria caps out at about 32 people. So we had a full house for that. But also, I think we can also work on trying to get the notice out for those events a little early. We had some trouble getting the exact date and what our offers were, and then we had to go through a flyer process on their end. So we had to get this. So it went out a little late, but for the time, I think it was well attended. And also,
Yeah.
people gravitate to what they're trying to hear, right? So,
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will continue to work on how we publish those.
No, absolutely. I think that a lot of the programming is very much well-attended. That's what's clear to me from this,
Yes,
so, thank you.
Any other questions from the commission?
Yes. Good
Commissioner
evening, good
Tillman.
evening, good evening, Mr. Thompson. Well, first of all, you know, I think it's been a year since you've been here. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, thank you.
What is the feedback that you're getting from the seniors, you know, about the programming? Are they happy? Are they kind of suggesting other things? Like, what does that conversation look like right now since we've been open for a while?
So right now, we have a informal process where people can contribute to the suggestion box. That's an anonymous way for people to put in. And all of our pop-up series, almost 100%, besides the first two, all came from the suggestion box. And as we move forward, when we ask for programming, we're asking based on the needs assessment before, the conversations I have directly with seniors, and the suggestion box. On July 28th, we have a comprehensive Leica survey that we're going to pass out. That's on Thursday, July 28th. We're going to pass that out. It's already completed, passed today for review, but it has questions that range anything from transportation, as we're kind of delving into that. We have a consistent driver for the pop-ups or any other type of neighborhood services that we can offer on a small scale. Bus only offers 15 people, but it still can have an impact because it's had an impact so far. SAGE classes and all those things moving forward. So right now they can all have a formal way or informal way to make those suggestions, suggestion box, and I have a formal way to do it on July 28th.
And a follow-up question, I guess we have a lot of programs, like, throughout the city. What are you doing with the seniors as far as making sure that they're informed of events that we're having here in the city?
So we actually have e-blasts that we send out every week to inform them about our activities, right? But in terms of the city, like 4th of July, we sent out the e-blast for that. Volunteer opportunity about curb paying, we send out the information for that. So if they give it to us, and we, in a formal way, like a flyer or some type of graphic, we include that, and that reaches 236 people.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Family Youth Services, Katrina Emerson.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Tillman, Manager, City Clerk, residents, co-workers, and everybody that may be watching online. Please accept my report as submitted. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. It was my birthday month, so I didn't do too much. But definitely, we supported the city in hosting a table at District Heights Day. We were very happy with the site visit with American Bloom on June the 6th. They had an opportunity to see the Woodland Springs Community Garden. Luckily, we were able, the weather was kind to us maybe 2 weeks before when we were planted, so they were actually able to see that things were actually growing. We also hosted the June 10th. We went to Baltimore, Maryland for our annual Maysby meeting, and that's where we voted in new officers, and myself, I became the co-president of the Maryland Association of Youth Services Bureaus to support the initiatives for the state youth service bureaus in Maryland. For, of course, our clients that we're seeing June 13th, we had 3 new formal clients engage in services. We had 32 carryover formals, and 27 clients closed, so they have formalized in services, and they have actually terminated successfully here at the Bureau. And of course, those are clients that have been with us for 4 sessions or more. More than likely, they're with us for at least a year, engaged in services. Another highlight for the YSB is we did attend the Enough Act Community Partnership Lunch at Creative Suitland. This meeting focused on existing partners to strengthen opportunities for collaboration and support, identifying other potential partners to join the 458 Corridor Partnership. All of that to say is we are meeting to build those partnerships because we are all a part of Track 1. The 458 Corridor runs from District Heights all the way to Marlow Heights. And in these meetings, we're looking at who's not at the table. And what we have learned at this meeting is, of course, we are looking for District Heights Police Department to be involved to provide information on law enforcement, so they will be reaching back out to city leadership for that support as well. But they're also looking at unions, and literally, if you know where Creative Suitland is, there is a union hall right next door. And so making sure that if we are addressing the issue of poverty with our children in this community, we are looking at all of the people who need to be at the table. And that's not just organizations, but we're also looking for residents to be at the table, parents, children, caregivers, to be at the table so that we can help to raise our families out of poverty. Also, we attended the Health and Wellness Support meeting for the Health Fair by Infinite Legacy. I'm probably new about it as well. I think David knows the most about Infinite Legacy, but from what we have learned is that this is an organization that has a health fair, but they were here a couple months ago.
They were here for District Heights Day.
Yes.
They
And
were
I
one of
think-
the big sponsors.
Yes, ma'am. And this is helping to deal, I want to say, with organ donors and end-of-life planning for families. For the Youth Development Foundation activities, of course, we were in the community garden for the workshop that was postponed because of the high temperatures. We do not want our children outside passing out. So we did reschedule that date for July the 8th from 12 to 2 p.m., and that is on a Tuesday, so it will be hosted on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. And then on June 25th, of course, we submitted our application for the Target Community Engagement Fund grant. We are optimistic, so we'll keep you posted on our updates in regards to our submission. Fingers crossed that will be accepted and we will be successful, and that grant is in the amount of $2,500. Our college tour update, unfortunately, again, due to extreme heat conditions, we did postpone that college tour as well. And then also, last but not least, the My Soul Knows 5K Run Walk and virtual. If you cannot be there on that day, you can still participate. This registration is open and the event will take place on September the 20th, and it is from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you have not had an opportunity to join us in our 5Ks, this is our 8th year hosting this event. It is in a nationally registered course. We have that for 2 more years. So tell a friend, tell your family. Of course, we are speaking about health, and of course, physical health is a part of mental health, wellness. Please, please, please join us. If not to run, to walk, but to cheer us on. We really, really love the support, but I'd say walking is best because you get to get a good look at your city. So there's some upcoming events. We do have our Getting to Know Me, our young adult mental health group, and that started today, and it will run for the next 8 weeks. And that's a mental behavioral health group helping kids to focus on social-emotional functioning, self-esteem, self-image, body positivity, and learning how to communicate effectively. Of course, we have our summer gardening event, and again, the 5K, as I said before. What I have, I don't know if you were able to get it, Ken, if you have it. I wanted to do a quick summary of the year in review. It's a snapshot, so I'm going to provide you with these slides. I did not get to Ken in time.
Thank you.
So we hear a lot about the YSB, and of course, we talk about the Youth Service Bureau. People do not need counseling until you're actually in need of counseling. But these are the activities that were conducted for fiscal year '25. In our clinical service, we had 80 new individuals that received formal counseling services, whether in individual services, group or family counseling, either at the Bureau or at District Heights Elementary. The individuals seen at District Heights Elementary during the school hours and school day are provided at no cost to the families. And that's a way to provide access to these mental behavioral health services for elementary grade children. We ran 7 counseling groups throughout the year, and there was 3 at District Heights Elementary. So there was a 3rd and 4th grade boys grief group in the fall of 2024. And then we had 2 5th grade girls Rising Star social emotional groups for spring of 2025. Of course, at the Senior Center, we ran our grief support group, which was very, very, very well received. And then for our parents and caregiver, we ran 2 parent support groups, 8 weeks in duration each, in October of 2024 and also in February 25. For our week-long workshops, we conducted these during the week before school started for the kids, and it's Kindness Matters. It's an alternative to anger management to help individuals ages 7 through 12 to manage their feelings, to address anger, and finding alternative ways to manage. So they're with us for a week, and that's from the hours of 10 to 3. And we're with them. We teach them how to cook healthy meals. We also teach them how to do a little bit of yoga to help manage their thoughts and feelings. And then we do a lot of psychoeducation and therapeutic interventions with those students. From their suggestion, they said, why can't we talk about all of our feelings? And so in the spring of this year, in April, during spring break, we ran My Feelings Matter. So it basically talked about the spectrum of their feelings and giving them a safe space to discuss thoughts, feelings, questions, ideas, and get coping tools and mechanisms to help them manage at home and at school. And they also learned how to make healthy meals. They also did an hour of yoga each day, so they were with us during the duration of spring break. If you have not noticed, we do have new staff. I always say yes, I'm happy that we're very, very fully staffed, and they have hit the ground running. We do have Christina Richardson. She is an LMSW. Some of you may have seen her name in publications because she is also the curator for the Little Free Libraries program. And so we have, given her a dual duty, and she has very, very excitedly taken this on, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. We hosted 10 community engagement events, and where we hosted information tables at events across Prince George's County, which includes schools, local health fairs, and community events. And then, of course, the launch of the city's free libraries program. With this program, if we haven't really talked about it, but the Little Free Libraries is an initiative that the city has is to increase literacy in District Heights. And so our goal is to have 10 little free libraries throughout the city in strategic locations to where individuals ages, I want to say 0 to 100, that can get these resource materials, whether it's books based on interest, and they'll be based on interest by location. So of course, you're not going to see adult books at the playground, but there'll be specific aged books for every location. Currently, we have received the Impact Grant Submission and Award this past month, and so we received a library from the Little Free Libraries program. So that library will be placed across the street from District Heights Elementary. In addition to that, they sent us books. And those books they sent 25 in English and in Spanish. And then we also have another 25 books that are coming. So that book library will be implemented sometime next week, thanks to Public Works. So if you would like to sponsor a library, feel free to give us a call at the Bureau, 301-336-7600. I'm not saying spaces are limited. We do have another library on behalf of Hemingway Memorial. And so they have purchased a library, and so they will be the sponsors and stewards for those libraries as well. To date, we have procured over 1,000 books for these libraries. And of course, the senior building, they have their library as well. It just won't be a stand. You guys have one indoors. So we really, really appreciate the support. So if you have books that you would like to donate that are gently used, if not new, or you just want to sponsor an opportunity, we do have a booklet that will be coming out with the books that are able for purchase. And so advocacy, we collaborated with the other YSBs through Maysby to lobby for House Bill 814, which was signed into law during this legislative session. We provided testimony for House Bill 1433. We submitted written testimony or letter of support for House Bill 1429. And for the Youth Development Foundation, our activities, over 300 individuals, children, youth, and families have participated in our following programs. We have our quarterly engagement activities, which was our jewelry making in October of 2024, the holiday ornament and cookie decorating in December of 2024, our Black History Month Family Vision Board, which is in February of 2025, and then our Poetry Open Mic Night in April of 2025. We conducted 5 college tours this year. The one that was canceled was American University, but we have been to Bowie State, Coppin State, George Mason University, and Old Dominion University. And all of these services under the Youth Development Foundation are at no cost to the families due to the sponsorships that we get from the grants that we are part of Hope in Action. It's part of our programming. And then, in addition to that, the 5K. So if you donate to the 5K, if you run in the 5K, your proceeds will go to support these programs. And last but not least, we have our Woodland Springs Community Garden. We planted in the spring, and so at this time, we're going to start gardening and harvesting what's available. Whatever they grow, they get to keep. So that's my report. Any questions? It's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. So on the launch of the Free Little Libraries program, you said that we received a grant, and how much was that?
So the Impact Libraries, it's actually the library itself.
Oh, okay, okay.
So we did not get the Read and Color grant, but they had the Impact Library as well, and that gives you one free library that you can use and utilize in the community.
Does that look like the one at the YSB, the one we did?
No, it's a little bit bigger.
It's bigger,
It's
okay.
it's a composite. I think, do you have a picture of it, Kenneth? I think I sent you a second email. It's a very, like a snapshot year in review.
And so you're asking residents if they want to sponsor one or purchase
They
one?
can.
What does that cost look like?
So the cost for the library is $525. And
Okay.
then you become a steward and you would work alongside Christina, who is the curator of the program itself. And so They have them in wooden or they're composite. The one they sent us this, last week was composite. So it's
Oh.
composite material, weather ready. So you can get, the largest size is the double doors and the windows.
Oh, so would that person get their name on that library?
They would be registered as the curator for that plate. So they all come with a little plate, so they can actually have their names on it if they would like to. If an organization would like to have the libraries with their names on it, they can have that as well.
Okay, so we're gonna have some information about that as well.
Absolutely.
And I think we should have some type of communication on the first one.
Yes. So what we're gonna do, I've been talking with Public Works, so it will be installed sometime next week. They're putting it on their calendar. But once it is installed, then we'll provide you with the information so that city leadership, because they would like for, Little Free Libraries would like for us to take pictures
Yes.
for the inauguration of it and the christening of that library in the community, so.
Yeah, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Any questions from the commission?
Yeah, just one question or comment. I'm wondering, because Fiesta Place Community Garden has, is that also a Little Free Library? It is?
Yes, there's a Little Free Library as well.
Oh, okay.
The ones that
good.
we have currently, District Heights in front of our building, but they're not registered with the Little Free Libraries program. So
Oh,
what we can do
okay.
is register them.
Okay.
And so what they'll do is put them on their national registry. And so people can just Google a library in their community, and it'll show up these different locations.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this will be the first one in District Heights.
So where are we looking at up there?
So the last picture down here in the corner, that is actually the library that was received. So it sits on a
Okay.
post. I know it's really small, it's a small video. So this is a snapshot of everything that we've done in the YSB. Of course, in July, that was our Kindness Matters workshop. This is actually the playroom that District Heights Elementary has allowed us to have that space to provide those counseling services to those children. New staff that came on board. This was our jewelry making event. This was our Black History Month event, the Christmas event. We had Employee of the Month in November. We had Bowie State, and then this is the poetry event that we had, the House bill signing, and then the library. So it's just a really quick snapshot of all that goes on in the YSB.
So when I look at your events, like we were, like Mr. Taylor, when he has numbers, do you actually have numbers who, the data?
Yes, I can
for
provide
each
you with
one?
that.
Yeah, moving forward, because I think it's important, like we're all talking about, is for grant opportunities or sponsorships and stuff. So if they see, the jewelry making or the gardening, they want to know how many people actually
Oh, yeah.
participate.
So what, and to speak to that, I've been talking, David had talked to me about it a little while ago, and so
Okay.
a quarterly report, because for all of the grants that we provide the funding, we actually report the numbers, so we have the actual data.
Oh,
But I'll
okay.
provide that for you all quarterly.
Okay, all right. Did you have a question, Commissioner Tillman?
Yes, I just like this whole year review thing. I wonder why all our departments don't do nothing like this. This is like really, it's pretty cool.
It is something that we're trying to push.
Okay,
Could-
yeah.
And Ms. Emerson just happened to be our guinea pig.
Okay. Yeah.
David said he wanted a report of what we have done so far, so.
Right,
I provide.
but this is great.
This is
I-
really,
yeah,
this is
it's good.
interesting. I would love for our police department to do something like this,
Okay, so if there aren't any other comments or questions, thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you, appreciate it.
You have to push out this, the 5K.
Yes,
Russell knows.
we are definitely pushing, we do have a radio slot and that will start in August.
Okay.
I'll give you the radio information. I know it's not an
Okay.
urban one, but it's the one we've used in previous years.
So it'd be nice if we can do it on TV again, right?
Yes. But that's just it, definitely, I had a conversation with Urban One Radio.
Okay.
So we're gonna see, they're gonna give us some dates and time, because they actually wanna see what's happening at the YSB. And so as more information of that becomes available, I will share that with you, because I think that it would be great for city leadership to be at that meeting, talking with, the radio station about what you have in your community.
Okay, so we definitely pushed it at our Maryland Black Mayor's reception in Ocean City, that the group is gonna sign up and be a
All right.
part of it.
I
So-
appreciate it, yes,
so, yeah.
tell a friend, tell everyone, it is to support mental health.
So what we're trying to do too is ask groups to come and be a part of it.
Yes.
So that really helps. Okay. Any more questions? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So is Tanisha doing Kelly's report?
We're gonna do it in pieces.
Okay.
And so, I am happy to answer questions you've got about the metrics. However, Ms. Turner is going to give you some information about the large amount of end-of-school-year activities that the outreach component of the office participated in.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, residents.
Good evening.
All right, so I just want to give you all an update on the, this month of June, as far as what we did in the month of June. In addition to kind of just closing out the school year, first and foremost, I just want to thank you all for showing up, because with the, under District Heights Cares Initiative, none of these things would have been possible. The elementary schools have been bragging so much just about the support that the city has given. So let me just go through a couple things that occurred in June. June 3rd, I attended District Heights Elementary School Financial Literacy Night held by Mrs. Whitfield Tees, which is their assistant principal. I had the pleasure of attending the Literacy Night. In the evening was centered around empowering theme of rich in discipline and wealth in progress. It was a powerful event that offered students and parents practical, real-life scenarios focused on managing money and developing essential life skills, from budgeting basics to long-term financial planning. The event provided valuable tools that encourage families to think intentionally about financial literacy and discipline. On June 9th, District Heights Elementary School hosted a fun-filled picnic for their pre-K students, in which we were happy to provide lunch for the little ones so they can enjoy their end-of-the-year celebration. A big shout out to the Recreation Department, who held, as we hosted the District Heights Elementary School fifth grade graduation, a pre-K and kindergarten step-up ceremonies, and the District Heights Elementary School Motown musical. On June 13th, Commissioner Tillman was a guest speaker at Longfield Elementary School fifth grade graduation. On June 18th, Vice Mayor Gomez and Commissioner Tillman attended the Juneteenth/Father's Day celebration at District Heights Elementary School, in which they had a great time connecting with parents, staff, and students during the event. On June 26th, I attended an end-of-the-year meeting with Longfield's Community School Coordinator, in which I am pleased to announce that we were one of their top partners this year. And we also had a discussion about hosting their graduation here next year. And Commissioner Tillman can attest to this. A lot of the parents actually they had to stand out in the lobby just because they didn't have enough room to see, for everyone to fit in the auditorium that they had. I have been in contact with the community school coordinator and principal as well, so just know that towards the end of the month, your emails are going to start pinging because we are already preparing for next school year. David has encouraged me to make sure that start having meetings here on campus with all three community school coordinators. That's Longfields, North Forestville, and District Heights Elementary School. Because we're looking to potentially, just do some things together so we can bring our resources together, because obviously, that whole thing, everybody doing everything, and it's spreading everyone thin versus us all coming together and possibly partnering on certain events and things of that nature. I actually have been in talks with some of the residents as well, so that next year, next school year, we'll possibly be able to get more residents volunteering. Volunteering and getting out to the schools. And again, thank you all for just setting the standard, just in getting out to the schools. District Heights Elementary School Community School Coordinator, Ms. Lane, she said that they went to their regional conference, and she bragged so much about how much we have done for their school that she's been getting phone calls from, not going to mention any names, but from local schools asking like, how can we get in on that? How can, what do we need to do to get our, get our municipality to support us the way that District Heights is supporting you? So again, kudos to you all, and thank you. David, thank you for being just super supportive as well. He don't look surprised. Super supportive as well throughout the school year. Thank you to the residents as well, because a lot of you have been out to some of those events and things of that nature. And we definitely look forward to working with you all for next school year. So I know Mr. Waters, you and I have talked, I think, a couple weeks ago, just about starting those efforts. So I look forward to it. And that's my report.
Okay. Did you have a comment?
Yes, just one comment, because we were at the Juneteenth event together, and they had an instructor out there teaching the boots on the ground dance. Those fifth grade girls, they know the boots on the ground dance, okay? They should have been teaching that class.
Oh, yes,
okay?
absolutely.
Okay, it was very serious.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That day, but we did have a good time, and they did a really nice museum exhibition, which was just beautifully done on their part, and thank you for your dedication and your commitment, because the speed in which the schools have their events, I don't know how we would not be able to keep up if you weren't there getting the information and constantly putting things on our calendar, sending us text message reminders. It's very, very helpful, and I really appreciate your proactivity with realizing that we do need to consolidate around our schools. I'm not surprised that other schools want to do our model. Our schools need all the help that they can get, right? And it's
Yes, they do.
evident, because every time we give, they're just there ready and willing, right? So thank you just so much for the work that you're going to do for that. And maybe we can have a welcome meeting where, we're invited, and we can sort of have an opportunity to speak to everyone and say hello and talk about vision for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was something that David had brought up as well. Kudos to David. Brought up as well as far as getting the vice principal, assistant principal, the principal, community school coordinators. Maybe it can just be before the school year starts, or we have maybe just meet maybe twice a year, just kind of have a beginning of the year and a maybe mid-year check-in, just to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a?
Oh, I just want to co-sign everything she just said. Absolutely.
Okay. So when we talk about the back-to-school bash, now we call it a bash. Okay. So we are sponsoring those same schools, District Heights Elementary, North Forestville, and Longfield Elementary. And so the goal this year from InStyle and Cut is that they want to increase the number of uniforms that they do for each school. So if anyone wants to be a sponsor, that would be great. So we're going to do some clear backpacks, but we're going to increase that number. I think we did 100 uniforms for each school, and we're really going to increase that because it's very important. So so we'll be having the flyer out. Actually, I do have it, and I need to just push it out to you so you can share it with everyone.
Gotcha.
Okay? All right. Because, yeah, we do care about our school kids, and we want to make sure that they are school-ready with their uniforms.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, because it does make a big difference for them. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, thank you so much. All right. So treasurer's report, Cecile Smith, but
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Tillman, residents, colleagues. You're being provided with a copy of the treasurer's report for the month of May 2025. Please accept it as submitted. The revenues for May mirror much of the April numbers, reflecting over-budget totals for local taxes, YSB, and the Recreation Department. Although collectively below the budget number, we remain on target for the year end. I need to correct a statement I made during the last meeting. The Department of Aging is responsible for the $800,000 reimbursement. The requisition number 6 I mentioned was collected for items completed in the senior center, but those funds are from a bond issue, not a grant. I misspoke. At this point, both payments have been received. Requisition 7 for the bond issue is being submitted this week, as additional items have been made available for reimbursement. The expenses are below budget, not a bad thing, but during the month of June, as my colleagues have and will share, there are many exciting events and services provided that will reflect those costs in the year-end report for June. I met with OpenGov, who are the vendors for our ERP system. In as much as we've had it over a year, they stopped by, brought breakfast, and we talked about what was going on with the program, the modules and things that we haven't yet taken advantage of, and the issues that I may have been having and processes that I needed to be updated on. The arduous audit process has finally produced a draft that is currently being reviewed for completeness and any final edits required.
And so when are we gonna have that done? You said you have the draft?
I have
of
a
it?
draft, and so I'm going through it to check it, to make sure the numbers are what they should be, where they should be, and all of that, and I will report back to them. I should go back to them Monday, and then it
Yeah.
will still be on them to do the final, to get back to us.
Yeah, because that's ASAP.
Yes.
Okay.
May and June offered several training opportunities for me as I participated in the leadership coaching series. It included cultivating workplace excellence for success, public speaking skills, which I think they put in just for me, and leadership core competencies. I also attended the Government Finance Officers Association, GFO conference. There I attended several sessions on budgeting and transparency, building relationships with officials and residents, growing as a leader, and using AI in finance, to name a few. I am thankful that our leadership places a value that it does in providing staff with the resources to obtain the level of professionalism and preparedness required to serve the city. That's my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the commission?
No,
No?
great job.
Okay. So I think we talked earlier about having the cash flow expenses.
Yes, the next.
So we could
And
see
so
what that
one of
looks
the
like.
things that OpenGov is going to provide, I have said before that we're going to start being able to provide stories. And there are different reports and things that have to be built within this system that we are working on. It was one of the things I discussed when they were here. So starting with the next reporting, that will be included.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Lawson, Human Resources. Are you okay? Okay.
I'm here. Well, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Tillman, City Manager, colleagues, and residents. Chris Lawson, Office of Human Resources, report for June. But let me divert just for short from Mr. Waters' question that you had. Last year, sir, we didn't actually post the intern positions. We were kind of struggling to find kids, youth in the District Heights community, and we did. And so they did a really good job, so we wanted to kind of give them first privilege, if you will, for this round. We are not complete, but the 5 that we do have are, just return students from last year. They did a good job. We just wanted to kind of recognize that. Managers do work with me to try to find the students. The traditional posting and stuff doesn't really get us to the students. So one thing we started on last year, Miss Barney Hill Love, who's not here, we do have a constant contact mechanism now that we plan to use moving forward to next year, reaching the community. We really try to keep it within the community. So just wanted to make sure. Yes, sir. So moving right along, let's see what we have here. So in terms of open positions, vacancies, we still have our 5 open positions. Let me just give a little bit of report on that. The public safety admin, we have identified finalists. candidates, but we have not. I'm working with chief and deputy to make a determination there. But we have identified finalists. We have at least one business services manager finalist that fits the whole realm of things, salary, experience, and so on and so forth. We really want to narrow down to one more before we close the competitive process. A code enforcement officer as well is still being looked at. We have a couple of DPW team member finalists identified. Now that we have our new Public Works Director, we'll be working with him specifically to make sure that we're not just going off of the past, but maybe some additional features that you may want to see in these particular candidates. So we're there. And then finally, with regards to the positions, Human Resources Manager, we do have, we've completed rather the finalist interviews, and we're down to 2 candidates. As of today, I'm doing reference checks are still in progress. I reached most of them except for one reference. So I'm thinking Monday I'll be able to finalize that. And we want to be able to make an offer next week.
Oh, next week.
Yes. So I will be looking to the city manager for that last, for feedback on the last round that we conducted last week.
Okay.
Two very, fine candidates, as you already know. So we will kind of see where we fall there. I think just, outside of that, there's not any new training initiatives at this time. I'll follow up with Dina to make sure I'm accurate on that. And then our basic process automation, all the things that we've already been working on, we're still doing that. It's kind of trying to wait for the new HR manager as well, because it provides for a whole lot of transition and training and so forth that I would be able to provide that person.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's where we are. What else do I have? I think that's it for this report.
Okay. Do you feel that, of course, everybody says when you get into the summer months, people are not really hungry to look for a job, or the candidates are just not there? What is your feeling this time?
No, everybody's looking for a job right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I want you to say that, but.
Everybody's looking for a job. Some of the postings, so many resumes, we just have to turn them off. Adverse productivity going through them, especially when you have 10 that are like, wow, I'd probably hire any of these 10 as long as they interview correctly. But no, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that at all. The biggest thing that you see is trying to match people's
skills.
Exactly. Skills, what they require, what we require doesn't always line up completely. Sometimes we're a little too high on the bar for some of the things that we're looking for. So, we've had plenty of discussions on how to right size what we have to offer and what we want versus what people, are bringing to the table. But no, I don't see that at all right now.
So do you see more the private sector or the federal or state? Is it just all three, pretty much?
It's a combination. Actually, it's also, interestingly enough, some county.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten some county candidates, not just Prince George's County, but other counties as well. Alexandria City, I'm just thinking of those that have stood out in the candidate pool. A good bit of federal. USAID was very originally, like some weeks back. I was getting a lot from there. We've talked to a couple people that have come through there, or from there. So, yeah.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
Yes, just one question. So where are we with the DPW crew lead?
Yeah, so
Crew member.
Crew member, yeah. We're going to start interviews next week. That's what I was saying, we have our 3 finalist candidates.
3 lined up for interviews. Okay.
Actually, there are more, but I think we'll get what we want out of the three.
Well, we're gonna let him talk about
Yeah, that-
what
I
his
was-
vision is.
Yeah,
now
that's kind of why I was
moving
holding up
forward.
too.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
Mr. Belnavy's here, and so he's here, so I want to kind of make sure that
Yeah.
we're matching up with some of his
Sure.
experience and guidelines.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions for Mr. Lawson? Okay.
that's
Well,
it.
thank you for
All right,
that.
Okay, you as well. Have a good evening.
Okay. I think you're not really last because you're new, but. Yes. The new director for Public Works, and it's Dual Bolnace. Please come to the podium. And welcome.
Well, good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Tillman, City Manager David Street, and residents of District Heights. Before I begin my report, I'd like to first thank this committee for allowing me to share my vision with this city and its zeal to excellence. I will then give a summary and then go into my report. In June, DPW closed 15 work orders, assist 5 events. The first week of June was primarily focused on preparing the city for major events, including America in Bloom and District Heights Day. Much of the team's effort ensures the city was presentable to those who was a part of it. With those events behind us, the team is now catching up to its regular schedule. One of the major highlights of the visit was the American in Bloom, who assessed the city on June 5th and 6th. A great deal of preparation ensured the city looked its best for the visit. This was a significant opportunity to showcase our community pride, beautification effort, and ongoing projects. Immediately following that, the city hosts District Heights Day on June 7th. The event required extensive planning, coordination, and teamwork. DPW collaborated with other departments to manage logistics setup, providing support throughout the day. Combined effort contributed significantly to a smooth and well-organized collaboration that united the community. In my second week, there was a storm that came through the city. And as a result of it, it created sinkholes on District Heights Parkway. Several trees came down throughout the city. One was a fallen tree on Gateway. The other was a fallen tree located on Foster Street. The team mobilized in several areas throughout the city in order to deal with the fallen trees, stump grinding, removal of trees, and supporting the residents who needed that help. In that time, we've also reached out and we acquired topsoil to deal with the Hudson Park, which is directly in front of the City Hall. We went in, we seed, fertilize, and beautify that area in order for it to gain fresh grass and looking really good. The city manager had placed a new park, swing set and things of that nature over there, and the children just love it. And I just enjoy watching them as they go over. The fifth group focused on the City Hall and the beautification of City Hall, the painting of the awning, the striping of the parkway, the parking lots, and the beautification of the trees and plants that was planted all around the City Hall. We all went into removal of debris on the service road, which is on the side of the City Hall. And as if you focus your attention to that service road, you will now see an organized DPW lot. We have gone back in the back area, we've cleared that area, we've made a safe space for materials that were illegal dumping, where we can safely remove it later, just to get it from out of the city. A lot of illegal dumping come into the city, and our job is to make sure we catch it as it comes in. During that time, I focused on the beautification of the Veterans Memorial Park, which is very dear to me. I've made sure that we have gone in, I've met with some of the representatives from America in Bloom, and they have identified flowers that may be causing issues in that area. And so we have decided to remove some of those diseased plants, that it would not affect the rest of the plants in that memorial garden, and the residents' properties as well. Some of my conversations with the representatives had to do with native plants to the area, including native plants to the area, reorganizing some of the plants that's in the Veterans Memorial Park, and making it so it makes sense. When someone goes in, they can enjoy it. We streamline everything where it's presentable, clean, and organized for residents who have fallen husbands, sons, daughters, who have their nameplates in the Memorial Garden. We are working to just make sure this area is pristine. Another area that I am focusing on is the Kipling Parkway. There is a walk path that will be installed on the Kipling Parkway in the medium. And as a result of that, I am meeting with contractors to enhance that area, placing ADA compliant path to get from one sidewalk to the other, and putting in crosswalks that highlight those areas for people to safely travel from one end to the other. This will go from, and forgive me, I'm still learning the names of the streets. This is my second working week. So going from, let me see.
Scroll down.
share with me. Going from Mulberry Drive to Ramblewood, which is 1 mile. It will be 1 mile of walkway. It will be asphalt. And it'll be just like the District Heights Trail, where as you pass through, it will be just like that people can actually jog and things of that nature. We have identified sinkholes that came through, that arrived as a result of the storm in the city last week. And we have some, oh, thank you. We have some photos here showing the park as in its beauty, as we have decided that we wanted to make sure that this stays this way for residents to enjoy. If you could scroll down to the next one. This is the sinkhole that formed on District Heights Parkway. And of course, this was one of 4 sinkholes that came as a part of the rain. And it's only because there's water running under the road and it filters away the soil. So what DPW has to do is go and clear that, put in mill, compact it, and then add coal patch in order to repair it. And this is just this actually has stopped several that was forming. And anything that we've noticed, we've had public safety involved in helping us identify those sinkholes. This is the back lot where we went in and we cleared the back lot and graded that area. As you can see, there's an organized DPW lot with equipment that is it's beautiful from the field. It's not disorganized and it's not a mess. It's not unsightly. If we can go to the next, please. This is the area where DPW is actually doing the work on our city hall. As you say, beautification starts at home, and it spreads out. As people come into the city, my job is to make sure that the city is clean, first of all, that residents are happy with their Memorial Park, residents' questions be answered in a timely fashion. I understand your situation, sir. In this time, I've had several calls about the storm and issues with sinkholes. And I insist that we try to get back as quickly as possible. Of course, we had all hands on deck, and we were spread throughout the city. You could not find a bunch of DPWs in the same place in the city. Last week, we were everywhere because there was so much going on, and we had to assess all. One of our main things I like to do is, my first week, I assess the city. And with the help of the city manager and the chief of police, I was able to identify some areas in the city. I then went back and did a quality assurance. And as a result of the quality assurance, we have identified areas that need more addressing than some areas. We are working to get everything done at the same time. But with the team being a short team, we are now, as Mr. Larson has stated, we need more people. And thanks to the city manager, I was able to get a few young folks, and they are eager to help. And of course, they're young folks, so we have to take time, and we have to train them, and we have to bear with them. The mindset of DPW today, see something, say something. See something, take care of it. See something, report it. If a resident stop you, we have something to give to the resident and say, resident, your questions and concerns can be reached by this number, at this number. I now have, paper to show residents that, okay, this is the person you call for yard waste. This is your person you call for bulk trash. This is the person you call for just incidentals. And so my plan is to build the DPW from the bottom up. The team here is a great team. They're a great set of technicians. A technician that is master at different, I found their strength in what they do. And so my thing is, these new employees that's coming in, I'm looking for employees that with a set of skills that would help to build the city. I'm looking for masons. We can do our own sidewalks. We can repair our own sidewalks. We can go out and we can have our own arborists to go out and they beautify the city. And they can also help to do repairs to our city hall. In my assessment, I've not only done the quality assurance on the streets, but I have had to do quality assurance here in the building. The same building that support the residents, the same building that they come every day to enjoy, to ensure that the AC works, to ensure that there's no leaks in the building, to ensure that when storms hit, somebody is here to do quality assurance during the storm, to look for leaks, to look for problems, and to ensure that all the beauty, the beautification of the town, the city, I apologize, I can't read the town, I'm still learning, is one that is upheld by the residents. My view, it's about the residents. We're here to serve you. And that's the reason why I'm here. I am in the business of serving, in the business of making sure that your concerns are being heard. So please, before you leave, you can leave you can take my number, and you know where I am. I'm here, and I'm always ready to serve. At this time, I would like to turn it back to the mayor. I apologize for taking over like that.
No.
But this is a little, I'm learning the way we do things here, and by the time we get back to the next meeting, I should be a little more organized.
That's
so
okay.
forgive me, and thank you for your time. I will take any questions that you may have.
Any questions or comments from the commission?
Yes, just a quick comment. Thank you so much, Mr. Dool. I know we've been meeting since you joined the team, and you've definitely hit the ground running on many of the things that we have going on. Our existing projects, things that we're trying to get started, and things that should have been addressed years ago that you've been addressing, so I appreciate it. If you can just share with the residents your background, where you've come from, and your experience at the municipal level, so folks are just a little bit more familiar with you.
Okay, thank you. Well, my first municipal began at Baltimore City, working with public safety. I then met the Public Works Director, Mr. Leonard Addison, and he had worked under Kirk Smoke at the time. During Kirk Smoke's administration, of course, DPW directors are not able to stay when the mayor changes, the DPW director changes. And he had then moved on to Riverdale. And he'd asked me to come to Riverdale to share my strength as far as building. I am a builder, first of all. I went into Riverdale, I built Riverdale, the DPW department, the Public Works area, and the City Hall, the police department. I revamped the police department and the train station that is in Riverdale with the Bay Clock. After being in Riverdale, one of the officers from Riverdale was promoted to chief of police. He then went to Sea Pleasant. As a result of going to Sea Pleasant, I went to Sea Pleasant to help him show what he can do to turn things around, to help him in the police department. It was then that I met the mayor, Mayor Grant. Mayor Grant saw my talents and offered me, asked me to come in and be the assistant director there at Sea Pleasant. While at Sea Pleasant, I ran that department until I became the director of Sea Pleasant, where there was 26, 27 employees under DPW. We had the trash detail and we had the DPW detail. I've done the cyber in Sea Pleasant, all the cameras, the flock. I was the one that installed the flocks. I supported not just public safety, but everyone as far as the public works. My tools from my business was the way I kept the city going. At the time, they did not have tools. And so I built the team, built the city. And as a result of that, another person was promoted to chief of police at the town of Forsyth. And that chief of police offered me a position there as the director, because the director, who was the city manager, was now going back to his position. They offered me the position as director because I would have been going back to an assistant director. And I took over as the director of the town of Forest Heights. In that time, I built 4 police stations. I built rebuilt the city hall. I redid the DPW lot, built the fleet, built the employees that was there, trained the employees. We were a one-stop shop. And now and during that time, I have known District Heights because I've done a lot of reach back with District Heights, different municipalities having District Heights Day, needing equipment. We help each other. And it is through the feedback, the reach back, that's how my relationship began with District Heights. And one particular day, I was given a call and I was offered a position here with District Heights and asked, would you like to come and be a part of a city bigger than yourself? And I said yes. And I am here. And I am happy to be here to serve this great community. So if there's any other questions, yes.
That's all.
I'm good.
We're good, and thank you and welcome.
Welcome,
Yes,
welcome,
we're
welcome,
welcome to the
welcome.
city of District
Welcome.
Heights.
Thank
We're
you.
happy to have you.
Can you pronounce your last name again?
Bell Navis.
Bell Navis, okay, got you.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
I
sir.
got you.
And for the tongue titers, it's dual.
Do.
Okay, got you, okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your report.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So actually, you're not the last. We have Chief Tarpley. You're the last, Chief Tarpley.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, residents.
Good evening.
This evening, please accept my report as submitted for June 2025. District Heights Police Department responded to the following calls for service. They are as followed: 1 auto theft, 2 thefts, 2 domestic calls for service, 5 hit and runs, 2 missing persons, 2 vandalisms, 2 car crashes. We had a total of 37 impounds, and we wrote a total of extra 17 other reports that we've taken. We actually are seeing an increase in arrests for this month, a very big one. And I think it's due to the nature that it's hot now. We're seeing a lot more people interact in different ways and being out, getting yourself in more mischief. So for June, we had an increase. We've had 6 adult arrests, 7 warrant arrests, and 2 juvenile arrests. In our traffic enforcement efforts for June, it included 43 stop sign violations, 6 seatbelt violations, and 290 moving violations, and 14 speed violations. The speed camera program issued a total of 2,268 speed citations. We issued 16 repair orders, 230 warnings have been issued, and 107 citations were issued for a total number of 353 citations on that one. Our revenue for the police department for June consisted of $2,047 for impounds. We took $480 in for parking tickets. We collected $60,050 for speed cam violations, for a total of $63,167.05. Code's a little slow this month. We really didn't issue too much, looks like about 4 business licenses totaling $675, 1 rental license for $100, and building permits, we took in $2,374.06 for a total of $3,149.06 for a total of revenue for code compliance for the month of June. There's a new form we're going to be sending out here. If it's on there, next one down. This is the last one down. This one here. No, next one down, sorry. There we go. If you look at the whole thing there, just so we're trying to, again, get our contact information out so it's updated, and so we post it online too, if you're looking for something in particular, you email one of these things. In this one, we have included the Resident Business Services, and if you need something from that department, there is the RBS new email in there, and if you have a question, comment, or concern concerning one of those departments in there, you would email the RBS. Same thing with police department and administrative offices, and those have remained the same. So this will be readily available in paper and online too. That's pretty much it for us. We have just been assisting of the departments with the city with its ongoing partnerships and events. So the police department's been pretty busy with that. Moving forward, we plan on doing it the next few months too. National Night Out is starting to be in the middle of planning that. So that is the first Tuesday in August, which is August 5th. So we will be having that again here at the grounds of the Municipal Center from the hours from 5 p.m. to 8 again. So I'll be pushing some more content out for that, working with the media department. And that will end my report for June.
Okay, any questions, comments for the chief?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
When are the stop sign cameras going up?
Excellent question. I believe we're now waiting for some permits. There are some of the cameras that we have to run off power. And we just did another finalization of where some poles are going. And I
finalizing some paperwork on the back end to give them authority to access some of the state databases we need in terms of flagging and some other portals they need to successfully collect funds.
Okay, I
So-
thought it was solar.
Some of them are solar, some of them apparently are power, so I thought the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can, is it possible for us to also look into, the stop signs are good, but can we also look into I think we had one on Kipling Parkway where it just tells you what your speed is.
Yeah, so we have one message sign board out there. We've been trying to work with REC3 to get that back online. We have some connectivity issues between the system we use on the Prince George's County side versus our system, so they've been working, trying to bridge that gap there. One of the grants I think we're looking to apply for will give us some funds to buy some of those smaller boards we put throughout the city. So we are looking to secure some funds to do that, so we can have a number of those throughout the city as well.
Okay, that's great, because as you know, folks pay their tickets, right? And that's income to us, but that's not really getting to the problem, which is we want people to slow down, right? And so as good as the stop sign cameras are, and I know that we've had patrol out, you know, we really need to start thinking about what's actually going to get people to slow down. And I know that we've been talking about adding crosswalks in some key places that are colored properly, so that is incentivizing visually people to slow down sooner when they come up to a stop sign. But I'm sure there are more things that are outside of just fee-based that we can do to get people to slow down, right? I had one other question, if I may.
Sure.
My other question was on the death of the 3-year-old on Addison Road South. So I know that there is an ongoing investigation from that vehicular crash, and I know that there was also some media coverage. And so I wanted to give you the opportunity to just share out to the community where we are in that investigation and how DHPD is cooperating with authorities on that investigation.
Sure, certainly, thank you. So right now, it is an ongoing investigation that is taken by an independent investigator from the Attorney General's office, a department called IDD. And what they're responsible for doing is just investigating the actions of the officer to make sure they did not contribute to a death of a civilian. So right now, the way the investigation works is they ask us for a bunch of different information, and we definitely have been cooperating with them. And after that, they will they'll release their findings in approximately about a year and let us know exactly what can result. And it could be faster. Lately, they have been turning around about 8 months closer. But once that investigation is done, there's 2 simultaneous investigations going on. The state police is actually handling the crash investigation of it. And then IDD will investigate the officer's actions. Those are running about the same time. At the end of those findings, they'll give them to the state's attorney's office, and it will either be to prosecute or not prosecute for officer's side. Then they also have to prosecute the suspect who actually drove the car and created the incident.
And that investigation for the actual person who was driving the car is with the state?
The crash investigation, the state police handle that, yes.
Okay.
Did they have video of the actual crash? I'm sorry. Because you all, the police wasn't even near, right?
Correct. So all of our vehicles are outfitted with the dash cameras, and all of our officers wear body cameras. So the majority of footage you view, because they've released, as you all know, they've released a snippet of the incident, and from which you could tell from each officer's and District Heights officer's dash camera that we were not pursuing it, as we call it, a pursuit. There's a difference between an officer-involved incident and an officer-involved pursuit. Right now, this was labeled as officer-involved incident. We were involved in it, but we were not pursuing the vehicle.
Right.
And as you can tell from two of our patrol vehicles that were in proximity of that car, either taking off from the officer or passing another officer who was finishing up a call nearby shortly before the accident took place. So that'll be the only video footage that they're working with right now. And then once the officers pull up on scene, every officer's body camera footage and whatever responding officers responded to and their dash cameras.
So I was just curious then, that video was released. Why, no. I'm just not gonna ask the question. But anyway, we'll just have to wait for the results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll just say this because it's so tragic that we've lost such a young life in our community from the senseless actions of someone also within this
Right.
community. I struggle to understand why it's taking so long for there to be any sort of charge or indictment of this
Yep.
individual who's still within our community. And there's a family out there and the community who's continued to be re-victimized because there's been no justice served. And so I'm just struggling with understanding how we have set up our laws to function like this. I know that this cannot be the purpose of why these laws were set up like this, but this is actually how it's playing out in real life. We have a 3-year-old who's died, and we have no accountability or justice for the death of that child. So I just ask that you continue to keep us updated.
Yes.
As you hear news. I think everybody here is vested in what's happening there. It's just ridiculous.
So now I have to say this. So it's so clear that there was no pursuit by the police, but there was a tragic death, and the person that did the death, like you said, is still walking around, and they're not even focusing on that, but they're focusing on the footage, which clearly is self-explanatory. So I don't know, you know, how could we advocate ourselves, because here our police department is being examined when the video is clearly, you know, showing that there was no pursuit. So whatever we need to do to advocate for our police department, and not being a part of that pursuit, but justice for that child that was killed.
Right, and that's kind of a question I had night of the incident. The suspect's well-known to law enforcement, has had a number of interactions and arrests to go with that. And the process in which this was born from police reform, to me, was not very well thought through on every single level, right? When we talk about, like you said, re-victimizing the victim, this is kind of where we're at, right? Or we're not seeking immediate justice with. If someone was to walk in and rob a store and you caught them down the street, they'd be in jail the same day. That's not the situation here, right? We understand that we may need to review everyone's part in the situation, but at the same time, justice still should be served, right? We know there are some hard facts that happen, and that no matter what the outcome of one investigation is, the other one's still going to be the same, right? So that's just some things that, you know, the legislation has to take another look at and kind of tighten that loophole, and I see the people who are following this case and many others that are similar like this throughout the Prince George's County speak up and throughout Maryland and actually reach out to the lawmakers and say, hey, we need to close this little loophole here, right? We need to focus the investigation on really where it should be. A lot of times, some of these things come out and they make the police the bad guy, right? When again, you look at some of these, the reason why we're stopping these people, the past of these people that we've interacted with, and it's not like they're just people going to church, you know, we're out here for a reason, stopping cars for particular reasons. And when we talk about wanting a safer community, our officers are out there doing their best thing, by the book, following the law. And when issues like this, it's kind of like, you kill their morale to come to work and every day and continue to keep the community in which they love and protect safe too. So as we understand and looked at, when an incident happens, we always look at ourselves first. As my department and me as chief, we always look and say, hey, what did we do? We always step up ourselves, as I step up ourselves for my department, to make sure that we are in compliance with what we had to do. And thus far, we have been. Not just in this incident, any other incidents that we've been involved in, right? And many chiefs of this caliber now are doing the same thing. We're all on the same page. So it's really kind of hard to kind of keep the officers' morale up when people are constantly trying to turn a narrative, right? Instead of keeping the narrative what it is. The community's been very supportive of the department and the officers because, again, our discharged residents know what our officers do, and they're very supportive, and we appreciate and love that support. But overall, that is a process that does need to be looked at and revamped.
Okay. Did you have a question, Commissioner Tillman, or comment? Okay, good. All right, thank you
Thank
so
both of you.
much. Do you have any updates or any suggestions for 4th of July to keep people safe? Any words?
I'm glad you asked that, yes. So we are seeing an uptick in just, oh man, people being outside. Yesterday was a prime example where even I had to run some calls. And I'm starting to see a lot of new offenders in our area, right? People who know not to come, don't come back, but we have spotted some new identified shoplifters are starting to pick up at some of our local stores here. Seeing some new little loiterers, but we're squashing that out. We just need to be, the citizens need to be vigilant in what you see, right? Vigilant when you go to the gas station, make sure you're still locking your cars. Make sure you're still not leaving your cars running. We're instead of seeing carjackings, we still are seeing auto thefts, right? And theft from autos is still a thing. People breaking into your cars while they're parked at your house or somewhere. So, always lock your doors. Take everything out your vehicle. Don't leave any purses or anything that can be misconstrued as a purse or a computer bag or anything in your vehicles. If you can, we do ask that if you would leave a porch light on, right? As officers are trying to hit every single street and they're required per shift to hit at least the streets 2 times in their shift, amongst some other hot spots. A porch light would help us to be able to, scan the properties and make sure, there aren't any people lurking about. We did catch, we did have at least 2 home burglaries, which we were able to catch and apprehend those 3 people who did that. All 3 of them are in jail right now, currently still. And that was from just some, the homeowner being diligent to notice that, hey, my alarms are on. I, made a phone call to myself and the police at the same time. Officers are getting there within a timely fashion, and then be able to track down what items were stolen and when the card was actually being used and caught them in the act of using the stolen card at one of our local businesses here. And it turns out that they're actually part of a bigger string that's been hidden in other places in the county and some other counties. So just those whole things. If you see something unusual, someone who you know is not supposed to be in the community, give us a call. We will come out, drop a dime. Everyone usually has my number. Call me. If it's an emergency, dial 911. We always encourage that. And even if it's late hours, we still work with the county to assist us and back us up if we're busy or on something else. So the summer tips are, another thing I'm gonna add in is we are working currently on we're gonna go shortly, a summer crime initiative, which will focus on the crime, but also the pedestrian safety. So we'll look at the speeding, stop signs, stuff like that. So we're rolling out that soon. We're working out the kinks and how to do that and join a lot more partnerships. As of today, I'll lean into something earlier today. District Heights, Capitol Heights, and Metro Transit kind of run a joint task force operation in the metros because apparently there's a lot of assaults going on, theft from autos going on, cars. Yeah. So we did one joint service, joint operation at the Addison Road Station and the Capitol Heights Station, thank you. All right, Metro. So, and that went very well. So Metro was very gracious in that, and so much. They've actually, I think they were on patrol with us in our city. They returned the favor to us immediately too. So, building that new partnership with a large agency like them definitely helps benefit.
Oh, yeah.
Increase our police presence here with our bus stops that we have issues with. So, you know, we're looking forward to do more partnerships like that, you know.
Because they have a lot of transit police officers
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
so.
and as they look to keep, you know, transit safe, they need some help from us, and they look to keep some more stuff safe, we need some help from them.
So I see one of your friends is the interim chief of police at Fairmont Heights.
Yes, yes, Chief Washington has returned as the interim chief for my Heights now, so congratulations.
So he
to
can
him.
keep eye on things too as well.
Yeah, he's right down the street, right, yeah, so our little crew continues, yeah, so, and then our dog should be coming to us next week, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Little, Sophie should be here next week. She stayed another extra week with the trainer just to work out some housebreaking issues. But I believe she should be delivered to Sergeant Stevens by next week. And then she'll be here for the next meeting.
And so she'll actually be here for National Night Out. that
Oh,
you
yes.
Show
Yes,
her
she will.
off.
Yes, she will.
Yeah,
Yes, she
okay.
will.
Put her to work, right?
That's right, yeah. So I think everything's going well. She's taken to her training well, and then when she comes here, she'll spend another additional 3 weeks with Sergeant Stevens going through his training with her. So,
Who is that again?
Sergeant Stevens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think those are some good tips. Thank you so much for the update. Okay, so we have one last thing. We have to get a motion on the minutes from the last meeting and the summary. Kenneth C. Warren, our city clerk, will present the minutes from the June 10th, 2025 work session to the commission for approval for transparency and accuracy. Relevant links and references from the meeting will be embedded in appropriate sections for residents and stakeholders reviewing the minutes online. Next steps, draft. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, ma'am, there's nothing to add to that.
Okay, thanks. So could I get a motion to approve the June 10th work session minutes as provided? Could I get a motion?
Yes, I, Commissioner Tillman, with the City Commission, approved the minutes for June 10th, 2025 work session.
Could I get a second?
Vice Mayor Gomez seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I think we're at the end. Let me know if we have any other.
Not that I want to keep us longer, there is a manager's report, however, I am happy to give it on the 8th, if that is the commission's pleasure.
That would be great.
I am happy to do that.
I'm sorry.
Perfect.
Oops.
I'm happy to give it on the 8th.
Okay, yeah, because, we're sinking here, so, yeah, it would be good because we really don't have a whole lot on the 8th, so we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
actually focus on that. So
Yeah.
you get a little break tonight.
Which I am very grateful for.
Okay. If there are any other announcements, I'll call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Commissioner Tillman, motion to adjourn.
Could I get a second?
Vice Mayor Gomez seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn this meeting has been completed.